In this video, we're going to be going through the entire content creation process from ideation to scripting, then filming, and then finally editing at the end. I'll walk you through step by step and really pick my brain how I go through each step with the most efficiency as possible. And this video is actually going to be a little bit of a more raw video just because you guys want to really learn how my brain gets picked and just to see what it actually is like creating content full-time as a creative. And you guys can do this too, and I'll show you in a little bit just how I quit my job just to do this exact thing right now. So without further ado, let's build your personal brand and get straight into the ideation phase. So if you guys are new to here and you don't know me and you're like, who the hell is this dude? Why the hell should I even listen to this man? Well, my name is Torsten Roscoe. I go by editing Torsten, like you can watching on my channel right now. And throughout the past month, I actually quit my job. You can see here, I'm right here, and I took a screenshot of my $1,000 I made in the last 30 days. That's my freedom number. I'm sure I'm gonna be hitting a lot more this month and future months coming up, but you never know, it's business. And this is my coach actually right here that coached me through how to get this way. I'll tell you in a little bit how I got that. But this is my coach, Bryan. His name is Bryan Delimata. You can see I sent him, Bryan, I did it. He said, you're the man, let's fucking go. Because that's exactly how I was feeling. You guys can't understand what I was going through. It is an absolute crazy moment in my life, and I'm so thankful for him. And we're definitely gonna be hitting more. And this is just the results I've gotten from building my personal brand, doing the thing I love. I've gotten over, I'm at 2,000, like 100 some right now, but this is like just a screenshot of later, like last week or something on December 1st. And I've gotten over almost 60,000 views in the last 90 days, grew my channel once again to over 2,000 subscribers in just 3 months, 2 months. So you guys can definitely change your life in 2 to 3 months. And the way I did it is Bryan Delimata taught me how to create an offer, build a digital product, and really just scale my personal brand to make a living for me, doing stuff I love, working only 2 to 4 hours a day if I want to. But knowing me, I definitely work a lot longer than that just because it's me. But you guys can just have the freedom of time. Anything you want to do, you can do it. And that is kind of my story. You want to go check out Bryan Delimata and learn how to sell digital products and become free, quit your 9 to 5 like I did. Go check them out. I'll leave them down in the link in the description. But now let's go on to this ideation phase on how I kind of pull these views and create short form content. Plus, I'll even show you how I create YouTube videos. So I first start with my ideation phase, and you guys can actually go grab this. I'll leave this Canva as long with like my scripting that I use and all these other assets. I'll definitely leave down in the link description so you can grab them and you can start today, or if you already are creating content, you can just grab these funnels, easy peasy lemon squeezy. What I like to do is I come over to my kind of idea board, I call it, for my personal brand, and I put up these 6 categories. The 6 categories are success, value, how-tos, failures, pain points of my audience, and advice. We're gonna be targeting the advice, but I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown of what my brain would go through when going through success and all these other categories. So for success, I would think about if I've had success lately, which I have. I quit my 9 to 5, so I would just right here, go grab the text tool, and if I can text, come over here and then just write quit my 9 to 5. And then let's highlight this, make it black. And now boom, I have a video idea of me quitting my 9 to 5. It can go multiple ways. I can just talk about how I quit my 9 to 5 through this business model. I could also talk about how I quit my 9 to 5 through 3 steps. There's so many possibilities of just one idea turning into multiple videos. Make sure you're making one idea and turning it into multiple videos. And for value, once again, just kind of think about either the value that you just went through in your life and you'd like to share with other people. That's usually what I do. Or just kind of think about and try to figure out what people really value in your niche and then go from there. How-tos, they're kind of an example, like they're kind of self-explanatory. For me, a how-to would be like how to edit like this person, or since you guys like those very much, or just like how to create this effect. If you're a gym person, you can do how to do a pull down. There's unlimited opportunities for this. Since with like failures, if I went through a failure recently, then I would put it on my idea board and then I would make videos out of it. And then for pain, I kind of think about what has been, failures and pain are kind of the same thing, but pain point, I try to go more of something that I have recently done that's really been painful for me, but also relatable to other people. Then I'll put ideas in the pain category. But for this video, I'm gonna do advice just because it just popped in my head right away. And it is basically how I became free and how you can too. That's advice. It would also be in success because technically this is how I became free. I quit my 9 to 5 and did this full time. So that's the idea we're gonna be creating off of. And now let's go into the scripting format that I have laid out for you guys. So this is the script format kind of template I use on Notion. If you guys don't know what Notion is, I'll quickly run down it, kind of how to use it and everything. But this is not my content template, so I don't take any credibility for this at all. I got this from Jason Cooperson. This is his template he gives out for free. He actually sold it for $500, but now he's giving it out for free. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. So basically, you come over here, you have the idea. So this would have been in the idea. You kind of write down, hit the new page, you write like, hi, or just any idea you have, then move it over to the scripting. And then once you do the scripting, then move it over to the film. Once you did film, edit, and then post, and then you're done. And then you can move it over to this posted part. It'll hide it, so then you're not cluttered or anything. But since we're doing this, how I became free and how you can too, let's move this ideation over to the scripting, and now boom. Now double click it, it'll give us all these things, our goal, our type. I don't really care about any of that because I don't really use any of it, but this is where I like to go. I don't know if he did this with all these like examples. I think I did, but again, I'm not taking any credibility because I don't really care, to be honest. So what I always like to do for my scripting is start with these 3 questions. So for the idea, how I became free and how you can too, I have to ask myself, who is my ideal customer / client? Who is my ideal video watcher / viewer, and what kind of do they really want? So who is my ideal client for how I became free and how you can too? And I would say people wanting to quit their 9 to 5 / hate their life. Like, be honest, that's what my mind thinks. I hope it does for you too, but that is the person that I kind of want to target when I'm doing this, because they're going to want to watch this and think, how, if he can become free, how can I do that too? And my second would be, what does the ideal client / customer really want? Again, they just want to kind of quit their 9 to 5, so I'll just kind of highlight this. Highlight this, copy, paste it, and then I'll do and become free. The third question I like to ask is, what is the first step they need to take to actually get there? So this is basically gonna set the foundation of the entire video on what kind of angle I like to come at this entire video. And I'm thinking, if I was in their position like I was just then, how I became free and how you can too, what is the first step they need to take to actually get there? It's very simple and obvious, but no one does it for some reason. And the way I got it is just take action. Because if you don't take action, you're never gonna get to the place you want. If you don't get out of your comfort zone, you're never gonna go to wherever you wanna go. Take action and get out of comfort zone. I love that. I don't really care about my spelling right now because I run it through ChatGPT. I'll teach you guys in a little bit how to use ChatGPT so we can kind of use this to our full advantage. Next, I like to do the hook, and the hook should really deliver a jolt to human emotions such as curiosity, fear, or missing out. How can you achieve this? ? So for example of how you can use a hook is just using an open-ended question that makes viewers wonder, like, how do they do that? Or how can I too? So for my hook, I'm thinking of kind of creating the envy maybe type of feeling or something. Again, we're gonna be using ChatGPT, so just kind of lay out a kind of foundation hook of what you like and then do the rest. So I'm gonna just kind of pick through my brain and do this right now. This is how I quit my job and work only 2 to 4 hours a day selling digital products. Someone said that to me. That would kind of bring a little bit of curiosity. Again, you don't have to go crazy with this. Just rinse and repeat. You gotta get used to this stuff. And now let's kind of just highlight this and let's go over to ChatGPT, and I'll kind of show you what kind of prompts I use to ChatGPT just to give me a little better of a hook and help me build out the rest of the video. So what I like to do for ChatGPT is just kind of copy this and then a simple prompt like help, just my typing is terrible today. Help me make this better. And then it's gonna kind of give me a polished look. How I ditched the 9-to-5 grind and built a life of freedom, working just 2 to 4 hours a day selling digital products. That's pretty good, not gonna lie. I like that a lot. How I ditched the 9-to-5 grind and built a life of freedom, working just 2 to 4 hours a day selling digital products. I like that. That's really good. And then just come over to your Notion, paste it, and now it's done. Now you have your hook, and now we can go over to the build up type of part. What I like to do is actually kind of botch the build up and the value because I kind of already know what I'm thinking and everything. So for the build up and stuff, I kind of already know what to say, but for this video, I'm obviously gonna teach you. And for the build up, after I would do that, how I ditched 9-to-5 grind and built a life of freedom, working just 2 to 4 hours a day selling digital products. Then I would kind of go off with my story. So maybe my story of me working and then going through and selling digital products, leaving my job, selling digital products, and what steps they could take. Okay, for the build-up, I did, and after going all in on digital products, I quit my job in just 3 months, so you can do this too. I'm not a special person, I just followed this one principle. I think that's pretty good, or at least that's good enough. And now what I like to do is simply do kind of the exact same thing, highlight it, go into ChatGPT and do the exact same thing. You don't really even need to help me make this better. You can just print it out and it'll do that. After going all in on digital products, I quit my job in just 3 months. Here's the best part. I'm not special. I simply followed one game-changing principle and you can too. I like that. So I'm just gonna simply grab this top one and I'm gonna paste it into here. I might tweak it a little bit, but basically I'm done. My value is basically gonna be now me talking about, just ramble on about my success and what steps are the one principle that I took to get to where I am. And then at the end, my CTA is gonna be something like, share this with a friend. So I can just do share this with a friend, or make sure to follow me. Just something like that. I'm not gonna do a comment something just because I don't have anything to get out in this video, but future videos definitely will. And that's basically it. Now I'm gonna set up my filming and record this. I moved a ton. So for my filming, I'm actually just going to tilt it obviously for a 9:16. And this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of put this right here. I'm gonna move this kind of in the 9:16, and then I'm basically gonna have this up on my monitor, or you guys can just use your phone. Unless you're recording off your phone, then that's fine. And then just simply look at the camera, say it, make sure it's authentic, and also make sure you have B-roll. So what I like to do is I'll pop up some B-rolls just to kind of give it a more of a personal feeling. So make sure that all your B-roll is of you, not of some random dude or something you just got online. Don't use B-roll like that. You're building a personal brand. You want people to connect with you and follow you for your journey. So make sure that it's you 100% of the time. And now, once again, I'm going to set this up, record, and then I will meet you in Premiere Pro, where we can edit this aesthetic looking video that you saw in the beginning, and I'll pop up right now again.
So once you created your video, now we have to go on to the editing part. Now we're in Premiere Pro. What I want to first do is grab the footage. So I have my footage, put it on the sequence, and now we have our sequence perfectly made for this. I run in 4K, so this is my footage. And if you guys want to go get my raw footage and edit my exact stuff and make kind of your own reel just to practice or anything, I'll leave my raw stuff in the link description. And the style we're going to be using today is this simplistic, minimalistic, cinematic editing style. I'll pop up some examples so you can kind of get the gifs of what kind of editing style we're going to be learning today. And for this video's sake, I'm going to be using my cinematic editing style presets pack that you guys can get in the link in the description. It's basically just to allow us to really create these effects fast, efficient as possible, not wasting any time. And if you want to go learn how to create all these effects to yourself and waste just a bunch of time, that's really pointless. But if you want to learn them yourself, that's completely fine. I understand. Go check out some videos. I'll pop some up on the card, and at the end of this video, I'll show you an example too. But for this video, again, we're gonna be using these editing style presets. You can see on my right, they're all here numbered exactly what kind of way you should start and middle and end your edit. So for example, the number 1 means that we're going to be color grading first. So this is the first thing that you want to do is use the number 1. So I'm just going to grab the cinematic color grade, plop it on, boom. Now we have our color grade. That's kind of perfect. Might tweak it just a little bit, but for right now, we probably won't. And you also will get these text titles that we're going to be using. So they're already pre-made text titles. All you have to do is simply just copy and paste it, replace the words, and that's it. So that's what I'm going to be using for one of our hooks. And we're also going to be using these film borders in this pack. You can see that there's about like 13 to 14 film borders. 4 of them are animated and the rest are just static. So let me just come over to here and let me grab the film borders, plop it into here, and now we have our film borders. And the third thing that you get is these fonts that are perfect for cinematic. You get all the fonts, you get this font text style, so I'll show you how to use them in just a little bit. First of all, let's cut up this video and then start doing the kind of ideation part of what kind of effects we want to do, and then we'll create all these effects. Easy peasy. So I'm going to speed up the footage, but first of all, I'm going to kind of teach you how to cut this. So what I like to do is basically listen to what I'm going to say, and then if I say it good, or like you, if you say it good, then you just kind of leave that part, and if you don't like that, then you cut it out. So I'll teach you how to do it.
Okay. Just 3 months after going all in on digital products, I quit my job and changed.
So like this, I just kind of speed up, and then I would use the razor tool. So hit C and then kind of zoom in where this kind of starts. Click, and then just go over here, delete, click on the white space, delete again. And that's basically what I'm gonna do throughout the entire video. After we've cut it up, what I like to do for my short form content is simply zoom in on each of the cuts and then drag this piece up and this bottom piece down. And then I'm going to overlap this, and what it's called is pretty sure it's either an L cut or a J cut. I don't really care, to be honest, how it's called. I just like to do this. And basically you want to line this bottom up. So if I zoom this up and zoom this up too, you kind of want to line this bottom of it receding to the bottom of this ascending. So I can kind of bring this over, and then let's listen to it.
The factor you can too. The factor that
it's perfect because then there's no kind of
you can too. The fact
I'm always talking 100%. And then once you did that, I like to hold Alt to the top one and basically bring it to the right. So now I'm just constantly talking, and it's nice L cut, this L kind of shape, and now it looks like this.
You can too. The factor that I have,
I'll just keep doing that throughout the entire video,
is that I never
this second one, and then I'll do the other ones. So this one, all I like to do is just kind of bring this into the middle. Again, look at where this stops, and then it starts, kind of overlap them a little bit, and then it sounds like this
model, because if other people can do this.
Now that we have the basic cuts and the foundation laid out, everything is looking perfect. Now what we like to do is kind of lay out what I want to pop up on the screen, the ideation phase, etc. And what I like to do is come over to the project page. I have a folder of my adjustments and my colors. And what I like to do is come over to the kind of like this page thing, click on the adjustment layers, hit OK, and then drag these adjustment layers. And I don't like to use markers because I'm not very good with markers. So I like to use an adjustment layer, kind of gives you like the rough estimate of how long you want this part to be last and etc. So for example, I always start my videos off with a very zoomed in, and then it like really pulls back really quickly. So what I like to do is put this adjustment layer, make sure it's around 4 seconds, I would say, so just a little bit shorter. And this adjustment layer is going to be my zoom. And now throughout the rest of the video, I'm going to use adjustment layers. I'm going to color them to different things, like I'm going to show you in a little bit, to really think about like and label them as different effects and such. So let's do that.
3 months of going, in just 3 months of going.
So this is going to be the zoom, and then I also am going to duplicate this and label this a different color, so like this. And then this is just going to be that hook that we said earlier, one of those text titles. We're going to replace it, put it right there.
All in on digital products. I quit my,
and then right where I say I quit my job,
I quit.
I'm going to cut these both, grab this adjustment layer, recolor it, and this is going to be where I'm going to do, oop, that's not a good color.
Make it blue.
For this adjustment layer, I'm thinking of a cropped image / the film borders that we're going to be using. And then I'm going to put B-roll of me in my job and then quitting it, such like that.
Job and can now do the thing I love every single day.
And then right here, I'm gonna cut this and then we're gonna have a transition come right here. So what I like to do is just grab this, make these super small just to kind of label a transition and then also label a different color like purple.
I love every single day. But the biggest key factor.
And then we're gonna have a zoom. So I'm just gonna grab this kind of same color zoom, have it zoom in on me.
But the biggest key factor to my success wasn't me being an extraordinary human being, because if I can do it, you can too.
And then we're gonna have a transition right here.
The factor that I have is that I never gave up on myself, and more.
I can do another type of B-roll. So just grab this one, me B-roll, probably in like my car.
Up on myself, and more importantly, I never gave up on the business model, because if other people can do this, I can do it too, and so can you. So if you want to learn how to sell digital products online so you can quit your job and do the thing you love every single day, make sure to go follow me.
Now we're done with our ideation phase of what kind of effects we want to make. It's really simple and easy. Most of this is just going to be text-based with animations coming in on the text. But now what I want to do is lay out the foundation of the text. So we have to create captions for this. So come up to your text, go to your captions, create captions from transcript, toggle this down, bring these all the way to the left for every single one of them. Hit single, create captions. It's going to do an amazing job at it. And just go throughout the entire video, make sure that it's all correct. After you reviewed all your captions, come over to the properties tab, come to the text, and when you have the pack, it's going to give you all these fonts. Make sure to go and grab any of the fonts you would like. But for me, I always love the Montserrat. I use this constantly. So I'm just going to go to Montserrat, hit black. It's going to give us this black. I'm going to get rid of the shadow because we're going to be using a custom drop shadow from it. And then I'm going to go to the zone, hit in the middle. It's a little too high. So what I like to do is just get it right under the chin, a little bit lower. That's completely fine. And we can actually make these a little bigger so that it's a lot easier. That's about the size I'm looking for. And then make sure they're all caps. Boom. Now you have all your captions. They're ready to go. Now we need to kind of animate them. And the only way to animate them is to upgrade the captions to graphics. So to do that is come over to the graphics and titles, click on it, go to upgrade caption to graphic. And now it's going to put it in a layer and we can animate these. But what I like to do is add a drop shadow because it kind of blends in with my shirt. So highlight them, grab the subtle drop shadow from the cinematic presets. That looks pretty good. And then add also the normal. I always love to double stack these just because it looks really good. And now we have a really clear, minimalistic type of style that looks absolutely amazing. So we're gonna do the hook first because this is gonna be simple and easy just because it's gonna be text and we already have pre-made animations laid out for us. So we're gonna go over to the text titles and we're gonna look at what one we want. I'm thinking about this first one, but we can just kind of review these, get a sense of what one you guys would actually pick if you were doing these. I'm just gonna speed it up so it's a lot faster. But I really like this first one. So I'm going to use this first one, and how we use these is simply you grab it, you come over to it, you drag and drop it. That easy. And we're gonna put these below everything. So just like so, make sure it's on the below. And since what I'm working with on the textiles, you can see how it's really small. That's because these were made in a 1080 by 1920, if I'm saying that right, or the other way. Yeah, it's 1080 by 1920. So all you have to do is basically come over to the effects, come over to the motion and scale it. So times it by 2, so it's at 100, now it's at 200, and boom. Now you're gonna get this.
In just 3 months of going all in on digital.
Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is kind of resize it, label them really quick, and then we will be done with the hook. I'm going to come in here by just double clicking it. Now I'm in it. I'm going to change this 5 to a 3. So just kind of highlight it, 3. And then I'm going to replace the easy text to in just. So easy, we're going to, so in. And we're going to do just. In just like that. Now we're going to change this to months. Months. And then we're done. Now we have our hook. It was that easy. That's
in just 3 months of going all in on digital products.
That's crazy how fast and simple and easy.
In just 3 months of going all in on.
And now I want to add some B-roll right here.
I quit my job and can now do the thing I love every single day.
So throughout this entire adjustment layer, I'm going to add B-roll and also grab one of these film borders. So because all my stuff is really like 1920 by 1080, so horizontal footage, I'm going to grab this one, this film border one, because it's actually one of my favorites to grab. So what you want to do for these film borders is simply drag and drop it just like so. That is not what we want just because I'm running in 4K, so it's obviously going to be bigger, but these are made for 1080 by 1920. And what I want to do is just basically come up to here, go to 200, boom, now you have this film border. And it tells you actually right here, so for the film border one, blend mode, turn it to multiply. It's going to say that for every single one of these. So just come over to the blend mode, turn it to multiply, like it's right here. Or if you don't want to even do that, you can come over to the cinematic editing pack, go to cinematic overlay preset, drag and drop it, boom, now it gives you already multiplied. So instead of wasting that time going over to multiply, you can easily just drag and drop it. It's a really simple workflow. And now I'm just going to kind of cut up the B-roll footage and make a story out of it, and then I'll show you once I'm done. So this is what I did afterwards.
I quit my job and can now do the thing I love every single day,
which is me teaching you guys and obviously hitting the gym. And now we can go into the second part because we've got the hook done. Now we've got like kind of the build up done. Now we just got to do the rest of the video, which is the text based basically. So let's do that. Now for this part, I want to be using a film border once again because I'm talking about B-roll. So I'm going to spice it up and grab the one that's actually animated. So this one is actually pretty good. So I'm just going to drag it, drop it. Again, do the exact same thing with the other ones. Kind of delete this track because you don't need it. And make this 200. Come over to the effects, grab the overlay. And now we're going to get this kind of cool effect. And now I'm going to add some just B-roll of me doing the thing that I say in the videos. So for this biggest key factor, I kind of want them to like stack on top of the other, just like you see in these text titles. You can see how they're kind of like, they're stacked just like this is like cool effects and everything, or just like this last one. It kind of gives this like kind of cool stacked kind of look. What I like to do is simply come over to it, go the butt, and then drag the next one up, kind of like you're building a staircase almost. Grab the next one, build it up, and then the last one, key factor, and then grab the other ones on the below the factor and just put them out just like so. So now when we play
but the biggest key factor
on the screen and I disappear, because if they just disappear, what the hell are you doing this for? So now we can kind of resize these to the way we want them. So I'm going to put the butt, and then I'm also going to come over to here and put it to like the top left, because I'm going to stack them kind of downwards, right, left, like so. So the, and then I'm going to put the below this and kind of to the left a little bit also, and just a little bit above this. So then you can see when there is like the drop shadow and everything, it kind of goes in front of it, kind of gives it a little bit of depth. And then the next one, the biggest, we can make this the biggest because it's big. So make it like huge, and then bring it down. And then we can kind of put this in the middle. That looks pretty cool. The biggest, and then we can put the key. We can bring this key factor, key down, put it to like the left almost. And then we can make the factor huge and to the right, just like so. It's kind of all just the way you want it. So I'm gonna put it the biggest key, and then the factor is gonna be right here. So now when they come in, they kind of go,
but the biggest key factor,
that looks pretty cool. And now what I like to do is simply just highlight all of these and come over to the effects and grab either the slide down or the slide up. So now when we play these, it's gonna look exactly like this.
But the biggest key factor,
that looks absolutely sick. That looks amazing. That's crazy. Or you can control or command Z to undo that and come over to the slide up if you want to slide up. Now we get this kind of really cool effect.
But the biggest key factor,
I like that actually a lot more. And I want to actually redo that once again and bring this factor out just a little bit, and then highlight them again, grab it, and
the biggest key factor
doesn't come in so fast. And for the biggest, I want to really emphasize that word. So what I can do is come over to the cinematic flicker for text or PNG. It works on anything. Grab it, drag and drop it, and now when it comes in, it has this flicker.
Biggest key.
That's crazy.
The biggest key.
That looks really good. I want to actually make that a little longer, so I'm just gonna copy it, paste it like so, and now we get this kind of really cool long effect.
Biggest key factor.
That looks super cool. And we can actually emphasize it even more is making these, the words a different color. So we can make the biggest a different color. So I'm gonna go over to the biggest. And just because we're using like turquoise blue, I'm gonna make it turquoise blue. So the biggest is gonna be that. And then I'm gonna do, the factor is also going to be the same blue as the other one, just like so. And now we kind of get this really cool.
But the biggest key factor,
and we can do that throughout the entire video. And now you can see that they're actually a little too high, and that's totally fine because you can fix that in just like 3 seconds. By highlighting them, just nest it. That's basically gonna compress it all into one layer. And now when we highlight this or click on it, and then we can move this up and down like so. So just bring it downwards, and now it looks
but the biggest key factor,
that looks really cool. Now we can do that for the rest of the video, and it'll look exactly like this. For the last parts, all we have to do is add the zooms. So you remember me talking about the zooms in the beginning of the video? All I do is come over to my cinematic, zoom out 150 to 100. I come over to one of the adjustment layers, whatever one I kind of feel. I'm just gonna delete one and come over to the cinematic zoom, drag and drop it onto it. And now we kind of get this really cool zoom out effect.
in just 3 months of,
And now if we want to kind of make that faster, just come over, drag this right one to the left, and we get this effect.
in just 3 months of going,
And now what I want to do actually too is add a kind of zoom into this. So I'm gonna come to the last part of it and put this to like, I would say 120. No, that's 120 a little too much too. 110, that's perfect. So then drag this keyframe to the right, so make sure it's at the end of the clip, and now we gotta get this effect.
in just 3 months of going all in on digital products, I quit
The other zoom I like to use is the cinematic smooth zoom in. So all you have to do is drag and drop it, and then
because if other people can do this, I can do it too, and so can you.
if you want to, you can just come up to the zoom, come over like over here, and put this to 100 like normal, and then it'll zoom out, drag to the right.
Because if other people can do this, I can do it too, and so can you. So if you want to learn
That simple, that easy. Once again, use the code START to save $5 off your order and grab this pack. It'll be in the link description. And if you guys want to learn more about video editing just like this, go click this video right over here.